Hey, it's Etan. I'm standing at the base of the Verdugo Mountains at the north end of Glendale, right down the walkway from Ard Eevin, which is a manor that was built for the Campbell family in 1903. And the Campbells were early citizens of Glendale, really some of the developers of the city, some of its first greatest families. Mr. Daniel Campbell was a banker, developer, and later a community philanthropist. And when they bought this land in the early 1900s, it was completely undeveloped. They bought about 48 acres of farmland, essentially, and used 25 acres of that for growing citrus crops and growing vegetables and such. Now, Ard Eevin in Scottish Gaelic means beautiful heights, and if you take a look around, it's not difficult to see how it got that name. You can see from here all the way to downtown LA, and right at the base of the foothills, at the top of a hill looking down, you just get this, or would have gotten this uninterrupted view of the San Fernando Valley and of Glendale and all the way through the Los Angeles basin. This was designed by an architect named Nathaniel Dryden, who was an architect associated with a couple other important properties in Los Angeles, including El Miradero, which is just a mile west of here, also in Glendale. El Miradero was the residence of Leslie Coombs Brandt, another very important citizen in the history of Glendale, and his family. And that building turned into the Brandt Library. You can visit it today. This one he designed in a whole mix of different styles. There is some, colonial revival. There's a little bit of craftsman stuff in there. And, revival styles were really popular in the beginning of the 20th century. And over the years, there were just a few additions and changes. There's a music room added in 1911. There's an auto garage that was built there in, I think, 1912, around there. Because Daniel Campbell's son, Dan Jr., owned a Ford dealership in Glendale and had a highly prized auto collection that he kept here on the property at Ard Eevin. And actually a funny note about the son, Dan Jr. So in 1940, he apparently won $250,000 in the Irish sweepstakes, like a lottery. And as you can imagine, that was the year when a lot of changes were made to this house. Like a fresco was painted over in white, and so the bathrooms were modernized, and some of the living quarters were combined. But, as lovely as this part of Glendale is, I want to go back in time. Can just imagine sitting on the porch of Ard Eevin and looking out and just seeing miles and miles of citrus trees and cucumber crops, whatever they would have been making back there. So a boy can dream. Thanks for doing LA with me.